Niners fans, how we doing? How are you doing? Those faithful to the Bear, how are you doing? How you feeling? They're feeling pretty good, right? It's that nice Monday morning. I love the smell of victory on a Monday morning. We love it. We love it. So the Niners opened up their season at Lumen Field and they beat the Seattle Seahawks 17-13. Let's break down the game. So first, I'm going to break down the game. Positives, maybe a few negatives, maybe one negative. And then a little bit of just Niners news real quick, because a couple things happened this morning, right? Okay, so here we go. The positives out of the 17-13 Niners victory. Let's start with the defense. The 49ers defense bent, but they didn't break. They bent, but and it's evidenced. But I mean, they held the Seahawks to 13 points at Lumen Field. I hope that's like the new name. Who cares? It's the Seahawks. But they held the Seahawks to 13 points at home. That's really good. I really like that. The Niners should take that all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. The Niners also held the Seahawks to 84 rushing yards on about like 3.2 yards per carry. That's exactly that's how to stop Seattle in Seattle. They did what needed to be done. It didn't look pretty some of the time for the defense. It doesn't need to. In fact, sometimes you dig a little dirty, right? Okay, a little crazy. Ooh, no, you're never gonna survive unless get a little crazy, right? Okay, I'll stop that. That's fine though. Hey, we knew that Sam Darnold was going to be great on his first read. How do we know that? Because I drilled it into y'all. In my preview, I said, Sam Darnold is amazing on his first read. He is one of the better first read quarterbacks in the game. If you break him off to his second read, though, it's done. He's over. He'll lose. Finito. Sam Darnold, though, on his first read, Jackson Smith and Ngigba, which I said would be as well, had like 124 yards. So Jackson Smith and Ngigba had 124 yards as the number one target. I told you, Sam Darnold can lock in and execute regardless with his number one. He just can't progress and read. So 124 yards for Jackson Smith and Ngigba. You know what? It is what it is. Second best. Who had the second most yards? The second highest on the Seahawks? Cooper Kupp with like 14 or 15 yards. Folks, that's precisely, exactly 100% what I meant. Sam Darnold is money on his first read. If you force him off of that first read, it's absolutely over. I guarantee you that it's over. It's over so much that isn't he the guy that said he was seeing ghosts out on the field? Seriously, I believe that Sam Darnold was that guy. And if it was Sam Darnold that said he was seeing ghosts, it's because somebody forced him off of his first read. It's so apparent. I'm sorry. It's just so apparent. Sometimes weaknesses and strengths are so glaring that it's like you get a little bit giddy. But yes, Sam Darnold, when he's off of his first read, is almost incapable as a quarterback, as a professional quarterback. I'm giving myself the golden star because I called that. First read is going to get a lot, but if you force him to the second or anything, it's over. And it was. Marques Sigle had a clutch fumble recovery. How much do we love that for the rookie from Kansas State? We really love that. It must be mentioned, I guess, yeah, because we're talking about the defensive line. We talked about them a little bit as well, right? Sam Okinyanu with the forced fumble. Good hustle. Hey, is that two? I believe that the 49ers defensive line was responsible for 2 turnovers, 2 forced fumbles last game. I love that. And for a line that is so young and sort of up and coming, I love to see it. And I felt like the Niners defensive line was doing worse than they actually did. And I like that. I love that. So I can separate those feelings a little bit. Okay. Hey, I did think that I thought that the Niners didn't get enough pressure on Sam Darnold, but I think that is going to improve as the incredibly young defensive line improves. And the great news is that Nick Bosa, knock on wood, is there and healthy and had a great strip sack, essentially, or, forced fumble yesterday. But, he's steadying the line. Hopefully Bryce Huff won't be offside like how he was last game, but he can sort of solidify that. I don't know where Yetur Gross-Matos is, but I think that it's only going to go up from here for the Niners defensive line, and they still performed really amicably last game. Dee Winters was amazing. Maybe only 6 tackles, but his energy out on the field was great. His speed, you can really tell his gear, his speed out there, and he was very effective and efficient. I didn't see Dee Winters miss a lot of tackles, and I didn't see him misstep. If Dee Winters can become so efficient with all of that energy that everybody says that he has. And I've always said, it's all about efficiency with him, right? If he can become incredibly efficient and use all of his energy as focused as humanly possible, we're looking at, he could be an all-pro, honestly. And that's saying so much. That is, I don't think that's this year. I think that that's projecting, and that's only if, right, if the efficiency can match the energy. But I love what I saw. Defensive backs were good, but not great. Man, my man Upton Stout. That was a devastating. I thought that ball was uncatchable. So Upton Stout was, Niners rookie Upton Stout was called for a defensive pass interference in the end zone on Cooper Kupp at a sort of crucial time. And the Seahawks ended up scoring. Don't love that, but he really redeemed himself with an awesome pass breakup, a little bit, or deflection, right? Later on, Demo was shut down. Diamador Lenore, I don't believe he allowed a reception. Great from Diamador. Renardo Green, I really like what I saw. I liked what I saw from him, particularly like when I watched his Florida State tape like a few seasons ago, I thought he would commit more penalties than he did because he's really handsy and whatnot. He hasn't done that at all. He's really clean. And what a rip on, was it Jackson Smith and Ngigba? Beautiful, just superb. Superb by Renardo Green. So I think that the fact that they weren't exposed, no huge plays, secondary, great job. Or good job, very good job. Close to great. And let's see here. What do we got? I think we're going to switch now. Is it okay if I switch? The offensive line. They held up more or less. They held up, right? Statistically, Brock Purdy only got sacked for once. However, we all saw the game. Brock Purdy was pressured a lot. But here's sort of the good-ish news with that. Trent Williams was actually responsible for 6 let-up pressures. That's the most on the whole squad. I think that as Trent Williams rounds into form, right? He never plays preseasons anymore. It's like, is he practicing anymore? As he rounds into form, we're going to see much better from Trent Williams. And the rest of the line did decent. They did decent. But here's the thing with Trent Williams. I really put the pressure on him. The dude's got a friggin' private jet. He makes a lot of money. And so it's like, I would have liked for an investment on his body to begin the season to be the number one thing. And maybe you just have to if you're him. It's like, maybe you legitimately just have to play it how he plays it, right? Doesn't work his body that hard with like practice and training camp, because honestly, it's like he's not that, doesn't practice or train, like, right? And wasn't playing in any of the preseason games. So he needs to round into shape. And I think that he'll brush off the dust. So he'll be good to go. However, and this is being totally honest, like if Trent Williams wants to continue to play in the future, he's going to have to figure out how to start his seasons a little bit less rusty. But he also went down early in the game, right? So it's like, long story short, I have good faith that rust will wear off. And Williams went down early in the game, so we give him that reprieve. It's all good. The Niners won, baby. We're good. But not too many holds, not too many false starts. I can dig that with the offensive line. Ricky Pearsall was excellent. Oh, Ricky, you're so fine. Beautiful, fine gentleman right there. 4 receptions, I believe like 100+ yards. What was really promising about Pearsall was that he appeared to be effective almost all over the field. You know that he can work the middle of the field. He's good at that. That's like his thing. He worked the perimeter a little bit on that fade. He beat Woolen, and also there was an end zone route that he ran really nice. Brock Purdy should have fit that in with a harder pass, and Pearsall would have had a touchdown that game. Great for Pearsall. I have faith that Ricky Pearsall can be the number one for the next month. I do not think that he can be number one for a whole season right now at all. But hopefully Brandon Ayuk will come back, right? So we're good to go. And I really, really, really liked what I saw from Ricky Pearsall. Great job. Great job. Christian McCaffrey, CMC, looked great. Helped in the receiving game. Offensive line didn't get much push in the running game. But man, Christian McCaffrey ran tough. He ran hard. He caught the ball out of the backfield, I believe like 70 plus yards receiving. We love it. We hope that he's healthy because it was funny. I think the Niners practiced with the Raiders like a few months ago. And one of the Raiders, I just remember somebody from some other team is like, oh, Brock Purdy he can't do anything else in these practices but shovel it off to Christian McCaffrey. And that is like your smash in case of emergency. Pass it to just check down to Christian McCaffrey. I love that Brock Purdy did that. Get his numbers up too. I love it. I love it. I thought that Brock Purdy looked really, really good. I didn't think he was great. Those 2 interceptions were bad. Not good. Not good. If he had only held it to 1 interception, it's borderline a great game. And I'll tell you why. You can tell that Brock Purdy is, for all intents and purposes, standing strong in the pocket, navigating the pocket, progressing through his reads, and really delivering catchable, accurate balls. That's all you can, and checking down when he needs to. All that you can ask for in a quarterback. I love it. He just can't hang some of those ones over the middle. Dude, he and Jimmy G are terrible at that, right? But I think that there's a huge difference. So I'm not going to compare, but Brock Purdy was looking off, that he was manipulating the defense a whole lot. As Brock Purdy starts to hopefully, knock on wood, get his weapons back, I mean, he can't get any worse right now. If he starts to get his weapons back, I think it's going to be really dangerous because he'll be able to manipulate the defense using better tools, right? So it's looking off of, of a Jacob Cowing looks different. Or, faking that you're going to pass to Jacob Cowing and then looking off for a pass, it looks different than faking a pass to Brandon Ayuk, right? There's going to be more eyes on Ayuk. So it's really going to open things up the more talent they get in there. And it's not the more talent, it's hopefully the healthier the talent gets. Hopefully, right? Negatives. Only one that I really saw, Jake Moody. Wow. I'm not even kidding that it's I don't even know if Jake Moody should be allowed to watch kicking on TV. He's that bad. But I'm just kidding with this whole thing, I guess, and then I'll tie a bow on it because it's tough to be just mean or whatever. But it's look, if the Niners, okay, this is actually what I wrote in my notes, and this is sort of true. And I know that it sounds weird, but it makes all the sense in the world if you look at what the Niners are doing. It's very weird what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are doing. And honestly, I hope that by the time I put this video up, he'll be cut. Because it's not fair to Jake Moody to not put a kicker. He's not capable right now, right? I mean, he's overall, dude, he's bad. It's not a good, but so I'm serious about this though. If the Niners want to keep Moody, so if Shanahan and Lynch are that's my kicker, they should trade Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams immediately. Put them up on the block. Put them up on the block and see what you can get for other players. Talented older veterans. And this is why. Because a team that... and this is why. I'm serious about this. If an interviewer, a member of the media should say, hey, Kyle, are you running? Are you rolling with Jake Moody? And then he says yes. If he says yes, you should say, then are you going to trade Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams? Because a team who employs a player who is as bad as his job right now as Jake Moody is clearly not focused on winning in the short term. One more time. If the Niners are going to employ a guy who misses so many kicks, he's a momentum destroyer. Football's a momentum-based game. Seriously. if they're going to do that, it appears as though they're not focused on winning and they're focused on developing youth, not even good youth, right? Because it's like Jake Moody is just young. So it's like, I truly believe that it makes the most logical sense because a competitive team, a team that wants to win, cannot and will not have Jake Moody as their kicker right now. Therefore, the Niners right now, I do not believe that they are serious about being as competitive as humanly possible in games. I would tell that to Kyle Shanahan's face. I would tell that to John Lynch's face. In those words, and I'd look them right in the eyes as well. Absolutely. Every day. And so it's very, very difficult. We also do have to say, I have 30 plus years. My mom would say 35 or so years experience. Off and on, I'll be coaching kicking sports. He's not a good kicker at anything. I'm telling you that. It's like a declaration. It's not a question or anything like that. If there's anything I know, it's that. And so this is so interesting. If you go and listen to Jim Harbaugh talk about Jake Moody in college, it's so damning of Jake Moody, right? Watch this. Jim Harbaugh, you should look at the interview, y'all. You should look at it because it goes something like this. Jim Harbaugh's like, oh yeah, Jake Moody, of course, yeah. He used to miss a bunch of kicks for us in college. He used to miss a bunch of kicks in a row, a bunch. But then he'd make some, you know? No, I don't know. What are you talking about? That's not good. Listen to me, Niners fans. Now we're cutting out of the quote, right? Literally, his other coach was like, he makes a bunch, but he misses a whole lot. That's never good. You can never miss a whole lot as a kicker. You can't. And so, like, it's irresponsible to have a kicker miss a whole lot because they should have been cut and fired from their job just after a little. So missing a lot doesn't even make sense. So I'd ask Jim Harbaugh about that. Excuse me, sir, coach, are you an idiot having a kicker that doesn't make kicks? That's their only job pretty much. You must not be smart at that, sir. Like, I actually think, I'm telling you, human, like, it might be an intelligence thing because it logically doesn't make sense. It actually doesn't make sense. Like, I have never seen a team that like literally just can't rely on the kicking game so bad that they have to go out of their way on just weird fourth downs when they should be able to take easy points. It's scary and it's bad and it's that bad. And I'm not going to have a whole video about a Jake Moody rant. And I timed it. I think it's only been 5 minutes. We're good on that because I'm wasting my breath talking about Jake Moody. The Niners got a whole team that actually has positive players who want to win. Jake Moody doesn't know what he's doing. Look at him. If you know Jake Moody and you're out there, ask him if he knows what he's doing. Ask him. I do not think he will say yes. He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. He plays like he doesn't know what he's doing. He kicks like he doesn't. And I'll just tell you a few things. Number one, you can look at where he's looking. I'm not even kidding. He's looking at all the wrong places before the kick. His plant foot is your plant foot, generally, your follow through is going to be accurate with your plant foot, okay? Dude, it's always off. His swing's off. So technically he's a bad kicker. Like, I don't know what else to say. I guess in the comments, I will put this in the stipulation in the comments. I have to do this, and I'm going to do this because the Niners organization forced me to do this, and then we're not going to talk about Jake Moody anymore. In the comments below, I mean, just because this is a fact, Jake Moody was threatened and attacked before. In the comments below, do you think it'll happen if he continues to be this bad? And who is your odds-on favorite on the Niners to attack kicker Jake Moody? We saw a couple helmets in the air the last time. Deebo Samuel was the last player to try to attack Jake Moody for being a horrible kicker. In the comments below, who will be the next 49er to attack Jake Moody, physically try to assault him and batter him illegally, technically under color of law, right? Who will be the next player to do that? And Will punter Thomas Morstead, does he have the physical bodyguard capabilities that Tabor Pepper had? Because he's gone. So Jake Moody's bodyguard's gone. Who's going to protect him when another player attacks him for being horrible and a team destroyer? Write in the comments. So, on Niners news, though, the Niners have signed Colton McKivitz to a 3-year extension, averages about, I believe, $13 million a season. Look, he has been, Colton McKivitz, I think he's decent, with the upside of being really good. I think he's only decent right now, but I think he's got upside actually still, even after a couple years in the league, right? And Colton McKivitz, this is all that I can say. This is a compliment. I don't think that he's going to be a player that's going to like single-handedly lose you a game. Like maybe like somebody who shall not be named anymore, right? So I think that that's actually a huge positive, right? Is that Colton McKivitz didn't stand out last game. Good. No holds, nothing real too bad. So, great value. He's like the 31st highest paid tackle in the league. I love that value with Colton McKivitz. Really good signing. Good signing. It's funny that I say decent player, but good signing. That can happen, right? The Niners have also signed free agent wide receiver Kendrick Bourne to a 1-year, $5 million, up to $5 million contract. Number one, I hope that doesn't mean that Jawan Jennings is going to be out for a long time. He had a shoulder injury. George Kittle is out as well with a hamstring injury. Hopefully those guys can get better. But Kendrick Bourne is good for, honestly, he drops a few. But he's an active wide receiver, and he's good. He's a positive player. That sounds weird, right? So it's like, he'll get a few catches. He'll get some yards, but he's going to play positively. He'll give you his all, and that sounds like sort of weird, cliche, and funny, but like Kendrick Bourne is one of those like vibe-based players, and I like the vibe that he brings. I think it's going to be good for the Niners. A little bit of swag, him with Ricky Pearsall for a few weeks, right? I hope that he and Pearsall can really hold it down. Plus, are there any younger receivers they got Watkins, they got Jacob Cowing, or do they, right? Is Cowing even on the team? I don't even know anymore. Oh, like, honestly. Anyways, I hope they can hold it down. You never know with injuries anyway, so they got to hold it down. It really is next man up. And I like that Kendrick Bourne is now the next man up. So from what I saw yesterday, overall, I think the Niners are a little ways off. They're a little ways off from being a team who can truly, you can say is a contender. But so it's like they're ways off, but if they continue to win, if they can continue to just stack a few wins, then I actually think that they'll get better. They're younger this season, right? I think the Niners will get better as the season progresses. I really am hoping for that. And so I have faith that the Niners have the ability to get to where they need to be. Whether they do that, that's all on them. That's on some injuries. It's on them, right? But I believe that they have the tools to at least develop to get there. So I really like that. That sounds like what are you talking about, C-Trade? It sounds more negative than it is, but it's like you have to win in the NFL. What did they do yesterday? They won. That's the bottom line. And that's what we care about. They just have to, but you got to build on it. You still need to build on that and maintain momentum. Speaking of momentum, let's keep this channel's momentum going by liking, following, subscribing. By the way, we're all wondering, right? Who's the closest in the prediction? Who gets the shout out? I said that the closest, comment below in the preview, and the closest gets, well, it looks like I was the closest. No one beat my score. I said the Niners would win. My score spread was 6 points. Nobody beat that. C-Train gets the goal. But hey, look. I'm not going to claim this victory this time because Victor Dominguez, Mr. Dominguez, sir, you predicted 2010 Niners, you get it. I'm handing that W off to you. Great prediction. Your spread was only 10 points, not too bad or anything like that. Great prediction. Well done. Victor Dominguez gets the shout out this time. So thank you so much for watching. Of course, subscribe, follow, all that stuff for your Niners content. I'll see you next time. Have a great one.